Monday, December 29th, and this is the sixth call of these wonderful calls that we started uh, over 3 weeks ago with Simone. And we have these two wonderful guests today talking to us about what bodies know. Andrew Gardella. Hi, Andrew. I know you're in Europe
Hi.
now, so in Prague, so we're on the same time. And Ryan T, who's in Bangkok right now. So, yay, thank you for staying up for us or getting up really early for us to have this wonderful conversation. These conversations have been incredible with all you guys, these 3-day body facilitators. And I'm going to let you go at it and talk to us about what do bodies know. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
You?
Okay. I don't know. Do you want to talk first, Ryan, or should I talk
Oh,
first?
you
I
talk
don't know
first.
what to say. Um,
What does your body know?
yeah. That's a good question. I really, one of my, you know, that is one of the things that I've been looking at and constantly with the 3-day body classes and all the wonderful different kind of body things we do in Access is really geared towards inviting, people and bodies, like people to see what their bodies know and kind of for the bodies to have what they know without kind of it being erased or turned down or um, hidden in a way. So I think for me, it's, what does my body know? Well, the amazing thing that I've over this journey of, I think it's been 15 years of facilitating access classes and body things, is that the amount of information your body gives you that it just doesn't even make cognitive sense. There's been so many times that my body's aware of an energy, and not to say I'm not aware of an energy, but I am, but I just don't know it in a cognitive way. And then something occurs and a future gets created, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what my body was aware of. And it's so funny to kind of see that and use that for future knowledge and use to really be like, oh, my body does know things, and this is what it knows, and I get it now.
So now I'm supposed to talk
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna do what does your body know, Ryan?
a lot of things. Um, so I've been doing exercise for 14 years and I became a 3-day body class facilitator a few years ago. And after I became 3-day body class facilitator, my body has been showing me even more things, a lot more things. Um, so what does my body know? Hmm, that's a good question. It's like everything, but not exactly like everything, but it's like the surrounding and also into the future and also what my body needs, what my body desires. And this is something that a lot of people um, they they ask their body. Oh, okay, so okay. A lot of people they ask their bodies questions. Like for example, people would come to a class, they say like, "Oh, I asked my body something, something." Okay,
Mhm.
but thing is, they ask their bodies, and at the same time, they don't really acknowledge that their bodies know that much and know a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, so what does your body know? That's a good question that everyone can ask themselves. Like, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
what do you know? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? And because of people refuse to acknowledge that their bodies know,
Yeah.
and sometimes not sometimes, a lot of the times the body has to try to communicate through pain.
Yeah.
Uh, So,
I I think it's also funny. I know one of the things, I don't know, remember when or where I got this idea, but so often I remember hearing about, we override our body a lot. And it's like we don't listen to it. We kind of turn it down. And I started asking him like, okay, buddy, override me. If we're about to do something that isn't what you want to do, that is stupid, or I'm about to eat something that you don't want to eat or whatever, like override me. Don't like show me that this like really isn't. And the amount of times that these weird things would happen where I would go for like another drink of like, maybe I'm drinking wine or something and I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling good. I'm like, I'll have another, right? And then all of a sudden I miss that glass or I hit it or spill it up some weird way. It's like, or the same thing with kind of food. I've had it a couple times where I'm like, oh, I really think my body wants this to eat, and then I order it, and all of a sudden I get a completely different thing the waiter orders, and I don't, I could be like, oh, it's the waiter, he screwed up, but I also go, okay, buddy, is this what you really wanted? And it's like, yes, and I'm like, ugh,
So
okay,
your body overrides you and also overrides the waiter.
yeah, I know. It's been really well, but it's really interesting because so much of everything when we talk about bodies is from our point of view, like the being's point of view or your mind's point of view. It's like all from that reality, but we don't really look at what the reality of our body is in a way, or kind of what it is. Because even when, we talk about what does your body know, we're looking at it from like, okay, well, knowing means this and this and this, and it's not really the same energy of of bodies, at least that I've seen. I mean, one of the things I've realized is, bodies, like there's so many times after facilitating all these energetic classes and everything, your body is just different. I don't know if you've experienced, Ryan, but I have some times where I'm like on public transportation or on an airplane or something, and other bodies get way too close to me. And they're just like touching me or something, and it's like, but I can tell that my body's giving the other body like energy or information or whatever it needs. But it kept occurring, and I kept remembering getting so annoyed with it and be like, what the hell is, like, why do these people keep getting so close to me? And then I finally somehow realized that I'm like, oh, it's their body is asking for something and my body is just giving it, which is, such a strange thing and kind of this world and point of view. Like they're like, no, they need to come to me for a session or whatever. And it's like, but body, you can't really just stop your body, which is, I think is funny because there's so many times we try and it hasn't worked out well for me when I try now. It doesn't. I can't do it.
So your body is just doing something by itself.
It's gone rogue. I've empowered it too much, and now it just goes rogue and does whatever it wants.
I feel like that's a good thing. Like,
Hmm.
um, so many people try to override their bodies, and I noticed that um people used to override their bodies, and now it seems like for a lot of people it's harder and harder to override their body.
Hmm.
Um, It's like the body finally has their voices. Like, okay, we have enough of this. We would like to have this. I just remember this. So we always think that like the body will just like whatever points of view that you have, your body is like, okay, I will just go with that. A few months ago, I was facilitating a friend, and and then what came out from that session, it was like the body has had enough of her trying to save her family. I was like, really? Wow, I've never seen that before. Like, so, and then I started to ask people, some of my classes, I asked people like, so do you have some people that you always try to save, but now if you ask your body, hey body, do you want to save this person? Have you had enough of trying to save this person? And the body is like, yeah, yes, I've been trying to tell you this for so long. So this is something that I just discovered a few months ago. It's very interesting. It surprised me, actually.
Yeah, that is funny. We got a question or a commenter that I know my body, that my body knows a lot. I just have a hard time understanding what my body is trying to say. Yeah, don't we all? I think one of the things that I started doing is one, you acknowledge that your body's giving you information, and then I started asking my body. I'm like, okay, body, show me a different way. I'm really stupid. Give me it in a different way, or give me it way slower. Like I'm in kindergartens and learning what my body knows. So start me off with like very slow. And for me, that seemed to help.
sometimes the body like tries to tell us something, but we don't actually, we have to acknowledge that. And we also don't have to get it cognitively.
Mm-hmm.
There was there was once that I had a pain in my body, but I knew that it wasn't really like a pain, it was something energetic. And I asked my body is like, okay, you need to do this or release something. So I asked myself a question like, okay, so what is it that my body would like me to release? And then
Mm-hmm.
so I record a clearing loop for myself and then I ran it on loop. And the next day when I woke up, like the pain was gone. And I'm like, but I didn't know what or why or how. And I asked my body said, you got it. I'm like, really? Okay, I got it, but I still don't get it cognitively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah.
I know that's a weird one. But I think that there's been many times where I'm like, okay, it's just an energy, and you get aware of it and it changes, and you're like, but I didn't get it. I know so many times in classes, people are like, you don't have to examine it, it's gone. Or do you need to figure it out? So much of it, especially with bodies, it doesn't have to, we don't have to figure it out. That's where we want to, put our point of view on it and control it in a way or understand it rather than just, oh, it's okay. It was just an energy. Cool. And it changed.
We have more questions or more comments or
Nope. I think that was the only one so far. Yes. We're getting the texts are shaking their head. Yes, that was the only one so far. So, um, I don't know. What else shall we go into? Oh, Laura asks, what is your go-to body process? All right, I like that one. So what's your go-to body process, Ryan?
hmm, depends on the situation. I have a few.
All right, give us the situation
Okay.
and then the body process.
Well, if I have nothing to do, I don't want to think about anything, I would just run MTVSS.
Uh-huh.
And if I know that I have a lot of crazy stuff, but it doesn't belong to me, I would run the biomimetic mimicry body process. I would say so. These are my top two.
Cool. I like it. I
Yours?
think let's see. I think if I'm like feeling like sick in any way, like flu or feverish or kind of or jet lagged, I do square root of -1. I like MTVSS obviously is a favorite for like everything. The other thing that I really like is the thymus exercise and running the thymus exercise on my body like when I'm traveling, when I'm, laying down to kind of go to sleep each night, sometimes when I wake up, no. And then if you're working out or walking around or doing anything, I like doing MTVSS too, asking my body to run that. But I don't know.
Speaking of the exercise, actually, most of the time I think I forgot about that one. Can you share more about that?
What
Like,
what
do you notice
what
a
was it?
difference after you ask your body to run that? The timer's
Oh,
exercise.
the thymus exercise. Oh, yeah. So the thymus exercise for all of you watching is really just asking if you know the energy pools, which is if you've done access bars and stuff you have, but if you haven't, you can ask to pull energy through your hands, like kind of through your chest, and then out the opposite side of the foot. So it's like in through your fingers, hands, chest, thymus, and then oops, crossing the outside of your, this is my left hand, so out my right leg. And then in through your left hand, cross the chest, and out through your right leg, and then up through your right foot, and out the left leg. So you're doing, and then the left leg up through that and out the right hand again. So it's like you're doing four different X's, starting in four different directions, and asking the energy to run through your thymus, and that's just it and it kind of energizes you. I mean, I remember one time I used to have to drive from school back to my parents' house, and it was like a 14-hour drive. And I tried to do it try to do it straight through. And the one thing that like really helped me was I was like running the thymus exercise every time I was getting tired or I was getting antsy. I would run the thymus exercise. But cool. Carolyn says. Oh, could you say more about receiving what your body is telling you? What questions do you ask your body in that situation? Thank you.
I think that's a
Go.
question what I mentioned just now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
A
So
little bit.
yeah, so at that time I asked my body like, okay, body, what's going on? And then I got that my body wanted to let go and release something, but I wouldn't let my body let that go.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. And I also got that my body wanted me to let go of something, maybe some energies or maybe some points of view, but I wouldn't. So I ran the clearing for myself, like, okay, what is it that my body would like to let go, but I won't let my body let that go.
Hmm.
And also, what is it that my body wants me to let go, but I refuse? So I
Yeah.
listened to that the entire night. I still have no cognitive clue what I let go, but suddenly the pain was gone, and then I asked my body, okay, body, like, okay, now it has changed, but what? My body said, you got it, that's enough. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like what the founder of Access Consciousness talks about. He's like, if it's just, well, he doesn't say poop, but he uses stronger words, but it's like you don't need to examine your poop. If it's already out of you, you don't have to go back and look and see all these things. And I think a lot of times that's what we do. If the things change with your body, then it's changed. And I think, like you said, Ryan, you're like, okay, it's changed, good, move on. Great, wonderful. Um, what I One of the things I do is I really just ask my body, okay, body, can you show me in a different way? What other ways can I be aware of this, or can I get this with ease? The other thing that I really like doing is just everything doesn't allow me to know, perceive, and receive this, and then using the clearing statement, and going pocket pod, and just that is it. The other thing is, please keep in mind, relax. Like you can't stress yourself out and stress your body out and expect to like, get ease with it. And one of the things I talk about a lot in the body class is if this is you're just starting to kind of embrace listening to your body in a different way and acknowledging your body knows things and listen to it, you're not gonna like being one, there is no such thing as perfect. I mean, Jesus, there's still things where I'm like with my body, it takes me a while because it just takes me a while. But so I think a little bit of patience and kind of allowance for you and allowance for your body is super helpful. And I really think the more an allowance that I've seen people with their, like I know myself and everyone else that I pretty much work with, when they get to kind of allowance with whatever it is their body knows and is showing them, because usually their body is showing them something in a way that they're not happy with, right? Because that's usually the only time you listen. You're not usually listening to, like, oh my God, I feel so amazing. I wonder what awareness my body's giving me. I've never like had anyone do that. It's always, Andrew, I feel like crap and my blah 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 hurts and this hurts and it hurts. And I know it's awareness, but what awareness is it? I don't need to be fixed. I'm
Okay.
going to be staying in a shelter for the unhoused in a few days. As I imagine myself there, left side of my body hurts. Any suggestions? I don't. Ryan, did you get that? Any a shelter? Do you know what a shelter is? And you get all the language and everything. I think it's like a homeless shelter.
Okay.
So they're going to be there. And imagine my staying this that self there. My left side of my body hurts. Mhm. I mean, it's I, I really have a hard time. I wish there was like a dictionary for your body that was like, okay, this is what it is. But there's so much stuff that you can be aware of and your body aware of. I would start with, okay, with this, I would start asking with, okay, buddy, is this something that I need to be aware of, like for me, or is this something you're just aware of? And then is this something having to do with the shelter specifically, or is it like you have to kind of ask questions? It's like playing 20 questions with your body and kind of following the energy and seeing light or heavy. It's not just one. I also like, yes, that's a good suggestion. Run, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. I think that's one of the things I do with my body. The other thing I do is I just use a lot of sometimes, anytime something comes up, I just go, oh, interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view.
You can ask your body, hey body, how can we have more ease with this?
Mhm. Yep. I ask that a lot. I really like that question, Ryan. That's like my favorite one.
Or how can we change this?
Yeah. All right. Another question. How has your life changed after so many years of doing body processes? Okay. How has your life changed after doing so many body processes, Ryan?
Everything has changed. Everything. Uh,
It's such a boring answer because you're like,
no,
everything's changed. And people are like, but what specifically? You're like, no, you don't understand. Like everything's changed. I don't have like one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
so many people have been saying that I look younger and younger every year. So I
Mhm.
guess that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Less
I think
pain,
also, yeah. Well, I mean, also like, do you have more ease with your body?
more is with my entire life.
Yeah,
Because it's not that it's like body is one thing and then your life is one thing. It's like you change something change in your life and your body gets changes as well. And if you change your body receives some body processes, something in your life got that how should I say that? Like get changed. Yeah.
yeah.
So I've heard
It's
people say
not
that
this
like
isolated.
they receive,
It's
let's
not an
say,
isolated thing.
so just now we talked about MTVSS. Many years ago, I remember I taught someone MTBSS uh, in the body process class, and then a few months later, I heard she talk about it. Oh, I ran MTBSS on myself, and then I suddenly made more money. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. How did that happen? Who
I don't know.
knows?
I'm
Who
like,
cares?
hey,
No.
I've written MTVSS a lot, and I'm like, what is like maybe I need to run it more. Someone's saying, can we explain MTVSS and what it can be run for? I think it can be run for a million different things. It's kind of our catch-all body process. And MTVSS stands for, I'm not going to even go into it because then it's going to be this thing. But if you want to know what it stands for, go to a body process class or a 3-day body class and you can get it. You can also just run it by putting your hands on your body and asking MTVSS to run and pock and potting, and it will. Um, but I would highly recommend going to a class so you can kind of get the energy and the experience of it, and your body can get that. Because one of the things we talk about, especially with the bodies and body process classes, is your body needs there to be there in person to kind of be like receive the energy, be touched. And I think that's really important. And we kind of skipped over what has changed after so many years after doing body process classes for me, or body processes, like Ryan, everything. Um, but I remember one of the biggest changes that kind of one, it was so easy because at the time I had started learning access and going to classes. I was in chiropractic school, and a lot of things were just really difficult and complicated in a way, especially when they're bodies. And it's like you have to kind of figure it out and understand it. And I remember going to my first 3-day body class, and I'm like, okay, so ready for like my school mind, like to like analyze and figure out. And they're like, no, you just ask the body. And I'm like, okay, where do I put my hands? They're like, ask the body. I'm like, which body process do I use? They're like, ask the body. And I'm like, what about ask the body? And I'm like, oh my God, this is so like it was so freeing in a way because I was like, oh, I'll just ask the body and the body knows. And also it took the pressure off me of trying to be the one that knew all these things about the body rather than acknowledging, oh, the person's body I'm working on knows and my body knows. And it always just seems to work out. And now it's like when I go to, just from going to like work on bodies and whether it's with chiropractic stuff or body processes or whatever, it's like I just know my body just knows. I don't even know how to make it. It's just like they're like, how did you know to touch there? I'm like, I just know. I don't know. Like it's like I just know I need to touch there, and I do. And I think that's also one of the things that's kind of disorienting in a way, because there's nothing that's solid about it in a way. It's just like you just know, but it doesn't be like you don't see this chain of things like, oh, there's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 5 or 4. I don't know how many ones I just did, but and then you're like, oh, number 5 means this or whatever. It's like it's just this kind of whisper, and this the body's just letting you know, and that's it.
Yep, and no one can validate what you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
S-
And I
Okay,
think that's
so
the other thing, is we keep looking at validating what our body knows rather than acknowledging it. And I think that's a huge thing, because and we kind of try and talk about, there's been lots of weird things that have occurred with my body that I try and tell other people, and it just doesn't work because it doesn't make sense to them. And it doesn't even sound real to them. But I'm like, okay, this is really, really strange. So one of the other things is just acknowledge that it's how you or your body operates, but it doesn't mean how any other body operates. There's lots of things that I know it works for my body, but it doesn't work for other people's bodies. And that's one of the other things that I bring up a lot, that comes up a lot in 3-day classes, is where other people try to get their bodies to match someone else's body rather than looking at kind of what their body needs and requires, or how or what their body knows.
Wow, guys, thanks so much. It has been so much fun watching you because you're talking about the energetics of bodies. And for me, it was really interesting how my body started moving when you started talking, and how it just, my body was receiving, like how Ryan was saying, it was not cognitive. So if you like me were kind of like, oh, where is this going? I don't know. But your body was receiving. Watch this again, because for me it has been incredible to see how you guys have transmitted so much energetically through your bodies and not necessarily cognitively. It was, please watch it again. And I invite you to watch it again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, because it's a new way of looking at our bodies. And like you guys said, our bodies know. Our bodies know, and it's not here. It's somewhere else. And you've just made a magnificent example of it without significance, but it has been so much to watch. So much fun. So much fun. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. And you are both, well, you both do classes all over the world, and you're both 3-day body facilitators, and you've been in Access for so long. And Andrew, you also give us, the body facilitators, a lot of information about body processes, so we can give those 1-day classes or those half-day classes that we do around the world. But there's so much knowledge in our bodies that you have just showed us, and I want to thank you again. So,
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
thank you.
and you guys, see all of you on January 2nd, when our call number 7 will be. Thank you, and have a great day.